Trays of grain. Hi,
Red, white, and blue.
and welcome to Decipher Podcast in the Mondays.
In the Mondays.
He's Rob,
He's Kieran.
and we are Deciphered. And today we bring you some news, a topic, and an album review. Nothing has changed, but what has changed are drastic things in bands. But we'll get onto that shortly.
Yeah.
First things first. The news! And what a way to start off. So, a song we are aware of, Mark Morton. That was disgusting, sorry. Mark Morton, guitarist of Lamb of God, has released a solo album, or is releasing, and he's released a track called Cross Off, featuring Chester Bennington. As far as we know, it's his last recording. And yeah, fucking
Pretty
great
big
song.
fucking news, to be honest.
Yep, and Mike Shinoda has given his personal opinion on that, and he said, and I quote, I remember when Chester played this song for me in his car when it was almost finished. He was really happy with it. Good stuff, Mark. So, obviously, not surprisingly, Mike Shinoda
Is behind it, and
yeah, he's up for it. He loves it.
excellent stuff, man.
So, we're obviously happy for Mark and for Chester,
Yeah, 100%.
and can't wait to hear more from the album.
Yeah, definitely. We'll check more out. Maybe a review at some point.
Or
Maybe.
something similar.
Could be. So moving on then.
Yep, to sadder news, with Jesse Leach of Killswitch Engage has now removed himself from social media due to mental health reasons. He stated recently that the upcoming Killswitch album will be the darkest one I've done. He's in a lowest point of his life.
Yep.
And he said while he's getting help, he's getting all the help he can. Social media is quite a toxic place, which a lot of people think anyway, and it's fucking true. Especially if you're famous, because you get so much hate, and you pick up, like, you get 10 comments of love, and you'll always pick up on the one comment of hate kind of thing.
100%. And to be fair, you're always going to get it. There's no avoiding it. If you're already in like a bad kind of mental spot, then that's the kind of shit that will just drag you under a little bit more as well. So definitely behind him. Definitely made the right choice for himself. I respect that, as I'm sure you do as well.
Faux show. Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully, best of luck to Jesse Leach going forward.
Most certainly. Yep. Cool.
Yeah, and that's about it for the news.
The didgeridoos. Right.
So we move on to bands that have undergone drastic change.
Yes, and what we think of those changes.
Yeah. So I'm going to point out to you now as well, because I haven't done as of yet. We've gone through, obviously, a list of bands that we've noted some of these changes for, but I've prepared some questions to ask you. Oh, I know.
I'm ready for your questioning.
Marvo.
It wasn't me, I wasn't there, I have an alibi.
Right, okay, fair enough. Well, I tell you what, that pretty much answers all of them.
Great. So, I've got set up an order.
Yeah.
So I'll pick up the bands because I know the order, and it's numbered. I don't think you've written in order because we didn't have an order when you wrote them.
That's interesting because I've ordered them.
But... in order of images.
Well.
I have them.
Yes, in that case.
Shoot. Are you ready?
I am.
Starting off and continuing with Killswitch Engage.
Okay, yeah.
So Killswitch Engage have musically pretty much stayed the same. They're metalcore and heavy metal.
Yep.
Now they've gone through two changes, and that is with a vocalist.
Yep.
So obviously they started off with Jesse and they went into Howard. Now there's only one album with Jesse, so we're not going to really talk about that change too much. It's more of the Howard back into Jesse.
Just a quick question that I haven't actually jotted down though. Why did Jesse leave the first time round?
I don't actually know.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir.
That's right.
So Howard back into Jesse Howard was with them for 3 albums?
I think it's 3 albums, yeah.
So, obviously, a more extended time than...
yes, and a lot of people, loads of people obviously loved Jesse for the first album, but most people at that point obviously got into Killswitch through Howard.
Yeah, I mean, me personally.
Yeah. Howard's my preferred vocalist. I still really like Jesse though.
Answers my question. Who do you prefer?
By a mild, Howard. I love his vocals. One of the best vocalists of all time.
Yeah, fair, but fucking hell.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Love his vocals, man.
Definitely sort of helped the band become a staple. I hadn't heard of them at all before Howard's.
I think I heard My Last Serenade on like Scars or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair.
So Howard left the band in a particular year of this decade.
Yeah.
And the reason he left was because the band said he wasn't really contributing to writing anymore, wasn't really putting full effort in. He also said he had diabetes, which was an issue for him.
Wow. Okay.
That was Holidays, not the band, obviously. And that did not help going towards the creative aspect of being in a band.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you've. I don't actually know how old the guy is, but if you've gone sort of, a good sort of 10, 20, 30 years, however many years, not having diabetes and then get told that you suddenly do it is a bit of a life-changing sort of thing. So,
yeah, I'm not sure if he was told at that point or he had been dealing with it for years, but either way, it was getting on top of him.
Yeah.
I also believe that mental health was an issue for him as well.
Fair enough. So that's both of them, technically, as well.
I think that was like a bit. I'm not even sure that part's true. I think I read it, but I'm not going to say it's a fact.
Not
but
necessarily any gravity to that.
Yeah, and if that was the case, I think it was like not a massive. It was contributed to, but it wasn't the reason. So yeah, Jesse joined back. So I kind of like the way Jesse joined back. There were auditions held for a vocalist.
Right. Okay.
Which Killswitch pub.
So he auditioned just the same as everyone else then.
Yep.
Fair.
And like it seemed obvious that he would have got through as soon as he auditioned. To be fair, and obviously he did. But the fact that he went through the normal means with the public of auditioning.
Yeah, 100%. I've got a lot of respect for that. So yeah, fair play. As we said in the news, obviously hope everything sort of sorts itself out with him in the long run. So yeah, so that's Killswitch. Moving on then to who have we got next in your order list?
Number 2, who is Bullet for My Valentine.
Okay, cool.
So this is a personal one for us. I was just listening to the live album on the way here, the Poison live album.
Okay, Brixton.
At Brixton. I attended the one that wasn't the Poison one at Brixton, but I also saw the Poison one at Manchester.
Yes, right, okay.
So, yes, they have gone through a drastic change recently, hence the topic title, and that is basically, it's from Venom to Gravity, but it's mainly their career to Gravity. So while Temper Temper was genuinely shite, it was still somewhat within their own sound still.
Arguably, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was just a shit version of Bullet.
I think it was, yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. It was still a departure from what you're used to, but that was more in terms of like quality and skill, lyric writing.
Definitely lyric writing.
So yeah, yeah, I'd agree. It's still Bullet, but just like a really toned down and dumbed down version almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gravity moving into that sort of era.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
It is indeed. I'm going to sit up slightly because my tits show when not wearing black, apparently. I've learned that today, guys. We're all learning something, aren't we? So,
is this the drastic change that you're on?
This is the drastic change. I'm suddenly skinnier. I'm just going to sit back so I stretch my pecs that don't actually exist. So yeah, if you've just joined us, this may look strange to you. It's very uncomfortable to me, but I look great.
So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wrote down the sort of thing. The general quality of their work suffers as time goes on, while the ego of Matt inflates on a completely unbalanced scale. So
oh my god, the scale for his ego is
off the fucking charts, mate.
Yeah, it's stiffly one-sided.
He's got a bit of a temper.
Cut it.
So I do have a couple of questions for you regarding Bullet.
Yes.
So question 1, do you think the rest of the band are like-minded with Matt about Gravity?
Absolutely not.
No.
So I feel like the drummer is new to the band and will do what he can.
Yeah.
And just settled for whatever. I feel like they are. So let's go back to Gravity slightly before I finish answering the question. So Gravity is a pop rock album. It's
pop
really
rock mixed with dubstep things on the extended edition.
Yeah. Oh god. With the cover of Imagine Dragons, because that's what we wanted.
Yeah. Right.
Now, like with Gravity, basically in the entire album is based on the story of Matt Tuck's breakup and how he's dealing with it, and I'm over it. So over it. Like,
so I'm going to write an album about it because I'm so over it.
I'm over it. And now I find it's interesting. I got a lot of hate when I posted this on the comments thread of Bullet because I'm that edgy kind of guy. And there was a Metal Hammer article, I want to say, from about a year before Gravity was released.
Right.
With Matt Tuck specifically saying we would never do a Bring Me the Horizon.
By that they mean that they would never
shy away, go soft, right, go poppy. They did that within a year.
Okay, so that article was less than a year ago.
I listened a year before the release of the album.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, yeah, it's mad. So, back to your question. No, again. So I think this is Matt Tuck going, I'm Bullet.
Yeah.
And we'll get into other fucking vocalists that do it later.
100%.
I'm Bullet. This is about me. I would totally understand it if a few songs were like that, or like a few songs about his breakup or heavier kind of thing. But to have a whole album based on that and whole album be soft and absolute wank is appalling from a band that are actually huge.
Yeah. And it's a shame, obviously, for people like yourself and me that have been fans since day one.
Yeah.
That can no longer even stand to be in the same room as songs that are playing from the album.
Absolutely not. It's obvious that I don't. So the drummer, like I said, he's kind of following with it. Jay, I would assume, like he's been there for a good few years now. Not Jay, sorry, Jamie. Who replaced Jay. He's been there for a good few years now.
Since sort of Venom, pre-Venom.
Yeah, just before Venom. Yeah. Now, but even with Temper Temper, Jay didn't get any writing on it.
That's crazy. So who actually wrote all of the bass parts then? Was that Matt as well?
Matt. In fact, I found this out recently as well. Matt, just to add to his over fucking inflated ego, he maybe you're not sure about writing, but he performs all the bass on every album.
Wow.
Because he said
what, even with the new bassist?
With the new bassist, even with Jay back in like at least Fever days, maybe all of their albums, he decided that he was going to do the bass because he feels it's better if the bass and the guitar come from the same hand. No, that's not a band. That is you doing your own thing.
What a prick.
Yeah, it's mad. So,
I mean, who would actually want to be a bassist in a band like that? I would just be like, fuck off.
Yeah, I would want to write. I would want to perform on my own album, thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
Not just go, oh yeah, okay, thank you, I'll be a little bitch, and then I'll go play live for you.
Was Jay ever credited on the albums?
Yeah.
So he was. So he was credited as if he had written it, and played it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's backwards as fuck.
Yeah, so, but with Padge, I mean, we know Jay left because of basically creative differences because he thought it was all shit and wasn't allowed to do Temper Temper, then had to go out there and perform dire songs.
Yeah.
Moose was different reasons that he left.
Family, wasn't he? He wanted to
spend time with his family, but he wanted to spend a month with his family, take the Poison tour off, that was it.
Wow.
Now he has a new band,
Kill the Lights.
Kill the Lights, check them out. But Padge, he's the odd one. I'm not sure how he feels about it because he stayed for so long.
He's been there since day one.
Yeah.
I feel like Matt's probably got the most kind of respect for him out of all of them, I would say.
Yeah.
So I think they could be in serious trouble if Padge ever leaves.
Yeah.
Put it that way. They could be in real serious trouble. Not that they're not already, but you know.
It's a tough one, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, so a couple of these questions I'm going to point out now as well. A few of them are general sort of like, more information gathering kind of questions. A couple of them are just more what we would ask each other just on the fly, random sort of things. So I asked you the first question, do you think the rest of the band are like-minded? That's more of a kind of like a, what do you think about that? Whereas this, if they did a tour of Poison, Fever, Temper Temper and Gravity in full, but there was no way to determine which album they would do, would you go?
I'll go to them, yeah.
You would? Just to catch the Poison and Fever?
Yeah.
But you would risk going, alright, maybe I should rephrase this then. If you could only go to one night and you had no way of identifying which album was going to be performed on that night, would you take the risk?
So it's either go and risk it or not go at all?
Essentially, yeah.
Go and risk it.
You'd go and risk it?
Yeah, because I can just walk out if Gravity starts.
Wow, crazy. What about Temper Temper?
And Temper Temper.
Crazy.
Well, I'd be interested to see to part 2 live.
And well, Prisoner of War.
That's at the end of the album. And yeah, POW, as they call it.
POW.
POW.
Cool. So anything else on Bullet?
Well, I'd like to see those questions repeated back on you, sir.
Okay, so I was unsure about whether the band were like-minded to Matt in thinking that Gravity is any good. Hence why I asked you. However, if they did a tour of Poison, Fever, Temper Temper and Gravity, I mean, for me as well, Scream and Fire could be put in there, but for the sake of keeping the question the same, it would genuinely depend on ticket price, because I couldn't function as a human being paying £50 for an arena ticket or something like that to go and see Gravity in full.
No.
I really couldn't do that to myself.
But I've got
I would pay 50 to go and see Fever or...
Yeah, I've got Poison. I've got a 50% chance of getting a fucking sick album.
You do.
I would go for it. Yeah.
50% for 50 quid. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I kind of asked myself this question when I wrote it down, and I said no originally.
Did you?
So I did, yeah.
Ooh.
That's how determined I am to not
change.
ever see Temper Temper or Gravity in full live ever.
Don't
But Gravity strikes me as the type
seeing
of album.
Riot live. It's just you want to just slit it all there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%. I would end it all. Cool. So moving on then to Fall Out Boy.
To Fall Out Boy. Hold your horses, sir. It's Fall Out Boy, yeah. Cool.
I can see the screen.
Oh, excellent. This is good. Cool. Breaking the fourth wall, man.
Yeah, 100%. Right. So I mean,
risk it for a chocolate biscuit. What kind of biscuit would you risk it for?
I would maybe go for a Jammy Dodger. They're pretty good.
I do love Jammy Dodgers.
They are really fucking good. They do like caramel ones though, as well. Caramel Jammy
This
Dodgers.
podcast has been paused for the next half an hour in Tesco.
Cool. It might be limited edition, just to let you know.
Wow.
I know. For
That's a drastic change.
So Fall Out Boy. Where are they on my rhythm list? Down here. So reason for the change, obviously, hiatus to pop is kind of what I put down for that. Really.
Yeah, so they obviously want to break for a good few years, didn't
they? Yeah. I feel like Patrick Stump was doing his solo career in that time, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
I also thought that a good-looking one, everyone calls him,
Pete
actually left the band for a while.
Yeah, he probably did. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Fed up of everyone else's shit.
Yeah, not surprised.
That's a drastic change.
I never really liked Fall Out Boy. I've always only liked one song. The one song I do like, I fucking love, which is Thanks for the Memories.
Yeah,
Thanks for the Memories.
Thanks for the murmurs. Yeah, the murmurs.
The Berbers.
Thanks for the Berbers.
Burp.
Jammy Dodger is defo along the right lines. Yeah.
I remember when I no.
Fuck this speaking deal.
Yep. We're just here to murmur at you. Thanks for the murmurs.
So, Fall Out Boy.
Pardon?
Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy, yes.
Yeah. Thanks for the murmurs by Fall Out Boy. I mean, it says it all really, going on hiatus to sort of releasing like a pop sensation album. Because that is genuinely what Patrick Stump did for most of his solo career, was just general kind of poppy sounding sort of stuff.
Yep.
And I feel like perhaps that kind of bled into it. But that is my first question to you. Well, my only Fall Out Boy related question to you is: do you think it's Pat's solo career that changed the direction of that next album?
No.
You don't?
No, so I've not heard it. So what is his solo? Was it pop?
I'm not sure if he's only done the one, but I heard a few songs of him playing live on TV of his solo album, and yeah, very much that.
I feel like they might have had an influence, but I feel like they're a band that just moved with the times, but the times happened to be away from rock. I feel like they went for the fans rather than the music.
Yeah, that's arguable. Fair enough. But you don't think it's strictly to do with Pat's solo career?
I do not.
Fair enough.
So they've gone from... Yeah, so they weren't always up pop rock. They were definitely a good rock band at one point.
Oh, definitely.
Soft rock, but not pop rock. Not that. It didn't hit that point yet.
No.
But no, their newer stuff is definitely pop.
Yeah.
Rock.
Pop with rock undertones, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. Not really much else to say about them, just that it is a drastic change even for a band like that. Really.
Yeah. Like they weren't ever... What confuses me, like they weren't ever really a small band. They were pretty huge from their start.
Oh, God.
So to make that change, it just seems like drastic, obviously. But to make that change, it's not like they went, we're not big enough, we need more. Because they were big enough anyway. They obviously have got a lot bigger since this change.
Yeah. So what, you would say that they're more popular now than they were back in the day? Because I have not been too sure about that myself.
I think they're probably less popular. Or maybe we just hear less about it.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see how many of their like original diehard fans from the beginning are still sort of present at their shows now, for example.
It'll be very interesting. What the hell does Mlap mean?
Mlap?
Mlap.
Thanks for the memories. Mlap, mlap. Mlap, mlap. That's probably it. You're a fucking weird one, girl.
Yep.
Oh, what do I see in you? That's probably it. Makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
Oh, okay. Right, sorry.
Wow.
Wow.
Moving strictly on.
Yes.
To a much bigger band then, in Architects.
Yes, sir. Who I'm seeing on Saturday, and I can't wait. They're playing part of Memento Mori. Sorry for the spoiler.
Dun dun.
Yes, cannot wait.
Well, so rude. Sauce fam.
Yes, Architects. So they've gone through. So the most recent albums, basically Daybreaker through till Holy Hell, are pretty similar in terms of style.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The 2 albums before that, not only are they different to the next, like the 4
The
albums
rest
I
of
just
them, but
mentioned,
they're different from each other
so different.
fucking rapidly as well.
So Hollow Crown,
yeah,
into the Here and Now. Hollow Crown is their heaviest record in terms of screaming, at least. It's got to be. Definitely their darkest record, not in terms of like backstory, but undertones of like style and contrast.
I would say on the vocals, 100%. On everything else, maybe not so much.
No, mainly vocals, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like their guitar work has only gotten
better.
Yeah, better for one thing, but also a lot more technical, a lot more kind of just darker sounding in general. A lot of the guitar work on Hollow Crown is very. I'd never go as far as to say like straight up the middle or anything like that, but a lot of the songs are similarly played, if that makes sense. They sound different enough, like the way that they're constructed and put together is very different, so that makes the whole album sound like it's a mixture of different kinds of songs. But just in the way that the guitar is played, that's changed a lot over the albums. But certainly between the first two anyway, which is the 2 albums that we've decided to point out for the drastic change, fucking wildly different.
Yeah, so Here and Now is a very fucking toned down in terms of heaviness. It's soft as fuck the whole way through, pretty much. There's a few screams in there, but it's predominantly Sam's singing.
Yeah, I'd agree. So why do we think that was? I mean, does it? You're obviously a bigger fan now. Has anything ever sort of come out about why they decided to do such a drastically different kind of sound?
So why did they make the change? I don't really know. It could have been a point of getting more fans, getting more of a contrast of people listening to them.
Yeah.
But it's like this is probably one of the most drastic changes on there because of how heavy and how soft it is. And I don't want to like blame every single drastic change on we want more popularity kind of thing. But it just seems when you do something like this, and again, I'm always an advocate, as I've mentioned before, of making the music you want to make, not the music people want you to make.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did it here. Like I've seen interviews with them afterwards. I think it was in the making of Lost Forever, Lost Together. I think it was Dan, might be Tom, said that they got a lot of shit for the Here and Now. They don't want to make that mistake again, and they feel like they were in a step in the right direction with Daybreaker, but they were really panicking. Not panicking, but they were anxious and worried about how Lost Together, Lost Forever, Lost Together would be received by the public.
Yeah.
Obviously, it went really fucking well for them, but they know they fucked up with that mistake, kind of thing. Now, why they did it is tough. It's tough without knowing the situation, knowing the guys. But why else would they do it other than maybe they just wanted to? Maybe they wanted more fans or money. I don't really know. But they don't seem like the type of guys that would do that. They're not up their own asses whatsoever, from what I've seen anyway.
No, that's
down to earth guys.
I mean, I picked them up at Hollow Crown, continued to listen from there. Being an average fan meant the change wasn't sort of like a massive problem for me for the most part. It was obviously enough for me to be like, whoa, that's nothing like the album I picked up. Nothing. That's nothing like that.
You're gothing.
You're gothing. Nothing gothing. But yeah, it was. Do you know what I mean? It was enough to be like drastically different, but in a way that suggested to me that, well, you know, I've only listened to the one album of the band, wasn't a big enough fan to know it was their only album at that point in time, just one that I'd saved and got into. So yeah, for me it wasn't too drastic until I picked them up as a band that I became a fan of.
Okay.
And then it was just like, this album sticks out like a sore fucking thumb.
Yeah.
Quasi.
Yeah, so
Quasi.
Definitely a substantial change in their career, and obviously a change they made back after the Here and Now through into Daybreaker, but that's not as drastic as what came before with Hollow Crown.
So it's fair to say that probably the song that you would like to see most is Memento Mori. If they played the Here and Now in full with the addition of Memento Mori, would you go?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
I've actually... Never mind, actually, I can't announce. No. I had a thought about something the other day, and I was really tormented in my mind.
Interesting.
Yeah.
After podcast sort of thing, or just something that you're not willing to mention?
Not willing to mention full stop for now.
Interesting.
Too much has happened, too much has changed.
Quasi. Very quasi.
Yes, so
Cool. So who's next?
AC/DC.
Okay, Akadaka.
Akadaka. So this is another vocal change. Years obviously of Brian Johnson being at the reins.
Yeah.
Due to falling ill or like not being able to perform at least. Axl Rose being the vocalist for AC/DC was a huge thing.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, definitely. So Axl Rose apparently did extremely well with this actually.
I think it's kind of what reignited the rest of Guns to be like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, because AC/DC wouldn't take any shit from fucking anyone.
No, it's not part of their demographic.
So for them to pick up Axl and then for him to pick a entirely different style to what he's done his whole life, to pick it up so well, to perform live with them for stadium tours across the world, or at least across America, I think it was. No, I think they came to the UK with Axl Rose as well. Yeah. So Axl DC, that was their change.
Yeah. I don't really have too much else to say about it. Really, it's just kind of one of those things that
happened.
Yeah, and in terms of their style or anything like that, though, I mean, nothing too drastic changed about that, really, did they? They didn't have to
Not
like,
the style,
change
no.
the songs to
No,
fit
no.
his like vocal ability.
No,
or
they
anything
changed
like that.
him. Yeah. He was changed, man. I've got some questions for you. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Have you seen AC/DC live?
No.
So I have. I had the pleasure of seeing them at Download, even though they're egotistical pricks. And
He brought their own stage. Didn't
brought
they?
their own stage, would like refuse to be on the t-shirt because they wouldn't have their own t-shirt sales. And there was like AC/DC at Donington Park, which happens to fall on the same day as Download, but not headlining Download. We're just playing Donington Park. Mad.
How fucking dumb.
It's a Download on the stage, I think. Anyway, so would you like to see AC/DC live?
Yeah, sure. It would be more for the novelty of seeing a band of that sort of grandeur live.
Yeah. I'll give them that. They were fucking great live. Now, would you rather see them with Brian Johnson or Axl Rose?
Oh, fuck a doodle dandy.
I will
That's
not
tough.
fuck any doodles or dandies.
Well, all right, fair enough. But to answer your question, I think for the sake of like keeping true to the novelty, I guess, Brian.
If I hadn't seen them live before, I would say Ryan, but because I've seen them before, I would say Axl. I just want to see a different vibe to it, a different.
If it was ever an option to see both, then fuck yeah, by any means, I would do that.
I don't give fucking nice options like that, Rob.
Well, I know that. It's just not who you are.
No. So, anything else to say on Akadaka?
Akadaka? No. I think we covered it pretty nicely, mate.
Yeah, we also covered them last week in our 2019 preview. It seems they're going to have an album out hopefully this year. At least it's still rumours though.
Yeah, and it's like album 18, is it? Or 17 or something like
18,
that?
I think, yeah.
Fucking crazy. Do we know if that's going to be with Brian or Axl?
We don't.
We don't know yet.
No.
Fair enough.
Or both.
Dan. Cool. So who have we got up next?
The Almighty Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
Is their full name.
And we're going to be focusing on Awaken the Fallen City of Evil specifically.
Yes, so it's obviously worth pointing out they had a drastic change between Nightmare and Hail to the King.
Yeah.
That came obviously after Rev's death, but they probably would have gone in that sort of direction anyway. But,
so with the Rev Alive, you think they would have released an album like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, interesting.
I feel like he would have had he would have had more saying it because he would have been alive and the drummer.
Yeah.
And also did a lot of the writing for them, with them. But they change with every album. Every single album's different, and they probably would have tackled that at some point. Maybe not the next album, but.
So you think that we would have had a Hail to the King by now, even?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't think they went, Jimmy's dead, let's do a fucking classic rock album.
No.
I feel like it would have happened anyway. There's still 4 of the original members that have gone in this direction together.
So yeah, but back to Awaken the Fallen and
yeah, that was the major drastic change. So they obviously Awaken the Fallen was their second album in 2003, and Silent Seventh Trumpet, the first album in 2001, that was similar to Awaken the Fallen, which is a bit more screaming.
Yeah.
Whereas it was kind of like a screaming album. Awaken the Fallen was half screaming, half singing, and then City of Evil is full singing. Now, they've said before they wanted to get out of the metalcore scene. They didn't like the hardcore scene, how it was going, that kind of stuff, and it wasn't them. They wanted to do more singing, and they decided this back in 2001 when they met with their.
Was that not around
manager?
Sound of the Seventh Trumpet days?
Yeah. So when they met with the manager in 2001, Larry Jacobson, he said, well, he's been quoted on the All Access DVD saying when he met Avenged, they said the current album we've got is Screaming. Our next album we'll do half half. The next album and onwards we'll do Singing. So it was always a plan kind of thing from moment one.
Fair.
And so for them, it wasn't really a drastic change. But when it came out, fans were not keen for the most part. Until obviously those new fans were garnered.
When City of Evil came out?
When City of Evil came out, yeah. They were like, what the fuck is this? This is not the Avenged we love and know. And obviously I love both albums. City of Evil was my favourite for years after I got into them. And
was that mostly where you picked them up?
I picked them up just before City of Evil. So I knew Wake of the Fallen. I didn't even know Silence of the Trumpet at that point. Wow. Because I was only kind of listening to them now and again, sort of thing.
Warmness on the soul, man.
That's super soft.
Yeah.
So that's basically the only soft part of that album.
Yeah.
Now, City of Evil, yeah, but in recent years, probably like the last half a decade, Wake of the Fallen's been my favourite.
Yeah.
It's taken back over. My favourite song's always been from Wake of the Fallen, which is Unholy Confessions. Now, back onto the actual change itself. Yeah, fans did not take it well. They weren't keen on it really whatsoever. Some people liked it, and a lot of the metalcore or Die fans did not. And they fell out of love with Avenged, as a lot of people did, but obviously through City of Evil, they got so many more fans than they lost.
Yeah.
But at least with this one, I have proof, or like, there's evidence to show that it wasn't a change for the money, it was a change that they wanted to do from the start.
Yeah, fair enough. So I have a question. Being that Wake in the Fallen is currently your favourite album, if they made a return to that sound, how would you feel?
I'd love it, because it's my favourite type of music. Metalcore is my thing. Current biggest like architect or rising through the ranks of my favourite bands. They've gone up to probably third now.
Yeah.
And that was for a band that I didn't know a year ago.
Yeah.
Because they're metalcore, singing and screaming. I would love Avenged to do it, but again, it would be for. I want it. Every album's different with them. I would want that album to be not the same as Wake in the Fallen. I want it to have its own twist on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just like a return to that kind of.
Yeah, that kind of sound. More screaming would be fine with me, obviously. Now, but probably for like a one album deal. I'm not really sure how I'd feel about them doing it constantly again.
Okay, fair enough.
What about yourself?
I think it would be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what they make on like a modern take of that scene, because they've crafted their own kind of like podium to stand on from making the switch out of that. So it'd be interesting to see what they do, like dipping their foot back into it.
Could you imagine? Because obviously the notable sound of metalcore these days is blah. Can you imagine a Shadows blah? Because I couldn't imagine a Shadows.
I couldn't imagine Shadows doing a blah, but then I think that would be the difference between them. That's what I mean by that. It would be interesting to see what they make of doing that.
Yeah,
as opposed to like trying to copy anybody else. They'd do something original with it, 100%.
I can see Screaming return to Avenged one day, but I just don't see it being at the scale anywhere near Wake in the Fallen.
No, like maybe a couple of songs in like a couple of albums.
Like they did it in Nightmare with God Hates Us. Because they were so fucking angry they felt Scream was right for it.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. So maybe when the motion calls for it.
Yeah. I'll shall.
Excellent. So who do we move on to next?
We move on to going from the absolute best to the absolute fucking worst.
Bring me the
horizon.
How did I know?
I'll not do this the whole time now, but yes.
So, I mean, literally, I didn't really know what else to write apart from what the flaming twat happened. Never a fan. Occasionally a song pops up that I'll give a couple of listens to, but the new stuff is full-blown pop. What the fuck?
Yep. Sempiternal through to That's the Spirit is the biggest change, of course.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just... Obviously, I think all their music is discovery.
Especially with the new album that's either out now or coming out.
Ammo.
I don't care enough for it.
Yeah. Which is spelled with no capitals for any of those songs, apart from Mantra, which is in full capitals.
Which makes...
You need to use capital letters. It's just basic grammar.
No sense whatsoever.
Yeah, silly sausages. So I'm trying to put my bias away because obviously I hate them so fucking much. So fucking much. But, like, they've recently, like, Jordan Fish from Bring Me has recently said, like, how rock is dead, and he's given the typical bullshit of, we stopped making rock music, so rock music is dead, and we can't do anything good, and we use 75% backing tracks on our live performances, but rock is dead. Nice one, guys.
Yeah, smooth. Real smooth.
Yeah, you're killing it, but it's not dead. It's fine without you. Now, the change, yeah, it's drastic. Like the Happy song, whatever it's called. Like, not that I've listened to much of it. I hear snippets. I heard like one song in a pub one time. I was like, this is... My ears are bleeding. But...
Oh, okay. what if we sing along that one? Sing along.
I don't know that one.
Song. I only know because it's on a UFC game.
I think that is Happy Song, yeah. They had Throne. Is that from That's the Spirit, or is that from Sandpit Turtle?
No idea. Sandpit Turtle.
Yeah, I think it's from Sandpit Turtle. I'm not sure, but that was kind of catchy, but I don't like it, obviously. And I hate the fact it was catchy because it's sticking in your head. I'm in your throne. And
just like that.
Yeah, just like that. I always said I'm basically on his side, and I thought that's just cancerous.
Don't be so harsh to yourself.
Yeah. So back to the band while we're still on, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say it's for the money, because if they're saying Rock's dead and they're doing this, they're just pleading, and that's not because I hate them. I genuinely think this is the case. They're just falling into the trap of this is crap music. This is get us fans. And they've got so many more fans of it. They're huge. They're going to be headlining probably Reading this year. I can see it happening. Have they already announced Reading?
They've already announced Reading.
Okay,
and that was like 21 Pilots and Post Malone.
Yeah, so they're not headlining Reading or Leeds this year. My bad. But I think they're headlining a different festival, smaller festival, Amplify or Amplitude.
They're the type of band that will get a Reading headline.
Yeah, I'm surprised not this year. Like, it's probably going to be downloaded soon as well, which is disgraceful. It's disgraceful, but
what does Andy actually think of
he likes them, yeah. In terms of business, it makes sense to bring as headliners. They'll bring people in.
They'll bring people in, but they'll bring the kind of people that I want to set fire to their tents.
Yeah, but we're good people. Yeah, I guess. Also, if anyone's watching Twitch, thanks for not sending us dick pics this week. Thank you very much.
Brilliant stuff.
Also, when you're on
has
YouTube,
departed.
if you're on YouTube, hello to you too. Join us on Facebook. So
let's get the fuck away from Bring Me.
Yeah, no more questions?
No, not a single one.
No, good. Okay, yeah. So Bring Me was number 7. Number 8 is Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Disco. So this was actually a suggestion put forward to me, and it does kind of make sense because they are a band that have made a career for themselves out of changing every single album. So I know that you said Avenged kind of do like something different with every album, but they have their own sound.
Yeah,
they have their own sound. Panic, I guess you could argue, have their own sound, but it mostly comes in the form of his voice, and that's pretty much it. And I will give them credit where credit is due. His voice is fucking excellent. He could be in theatre. He is extremely good at singing. But what the change for me is pretty much between every album, because they change their genre of every album so drastically. So whereas Avenged kind of do something a little bit different every album, these guys are literally, they'll do like an emo pop punk album for their first sort of thing. In recent years they've done swing, jazz, that kind of thing. So it is like, you know, off the charts kind of.
So yeah, well, like Avenged changed their style within the genre every time.
Yeah.
These guys literally change the genre.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's perhaps a few staple kind of things that will.
No Meatloaf.
No Meatloaf.
What? What are you talking about?
We're all vegetarians here. But yeah, so these guys, basically, they're just one of the few bands that could pull this off, and they experiment with punk, metal. They're doing a metal album.
Yes, I've heard. Yeah.
Pop and even swing. So my question to you is not one that you need to know anything about Panic for. So
good.
Don't panic. How is it that most other bands would lose fans for doing what makes Panic popular? Because you got to admit, if Avenged sort of said, "Hey, we're going to do a jazz album," I'm pretty sure quite a lot of their fan base would be like, "What?"
Yeah, I think because they've established that point from the start, it's helped them a lot.
Yeah,
I feel like they did 4 albums and suddenly this newest album, they were like,
"The fuck?
What's going on, guys?" But because they've made that point from the start, that's helped their case.
Yeah, fair. I just thought it'd be an interesting question to pose, really, because there are so many other bands that get shat on for changing one aspect of their album from the last one. And then here is a band that are literally popular for being so drastically different between every album.
Yep, I would give them credit, or not give them credit, so I would make a point of metal fans are usually assholes. Like, metal fans are just like, oh, this is a singular % different. You sold out, you're shit. And obviously that doesn't help that we're 2 metal fans talking about drastic changes and we're saying some of them are shit. But when you give me Gravity or anything Bring Me the Horizon, you're going to be called shit. Now, that helps. So that hinders some metal bands that want to change their style completely.
Yeah. Fair.
But with them, they've never been a metal band until,
No.
I guess, until this upcoming album, maybe.
Yeah, be interesting to see what they make of that.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
I'm going to put it forward maybe.
Is he going to
at some
scream?
point.
That's cool.
He has done before a live show and got absolutely ripped to shreds for it on the internet
Right.
afterwards. Couldn't tell you what song it was, but all I know is that it had the repeating lyrics of something to do with spiders and him going like spiders, like in the worst screaming voice possible. Literally
Sounds
had him
just like Ollie Sykes.
shat. Yeah, exactly. Imagine Ollie Sykes but worse.
Not as good a voice as Meatloaf. I'm not fully out of context now, Katrina. I do not know what point you're at in the podcast. But, well, obviously you're probably at this point because it's live. But, oh no, probably because you said he has a great voice.
Yeah, maybe.
He wouldn't do anything for love.
Yeah. But he won't do that.
Panic has sent it to your portfolio. I'm excited, Niggle. Last album, Disappoint. I mean, you didn't use full words there, Sophie, but I'm guessing it's disappointing. And Niggle is not gonna lie.
I'm excited, Niggle.
Wow, that didn't sound as bad as I was.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say that, so that's fine.
No, you didn't. You said not gonna lie.
Yeah, Niggle.
Moving on to
Yes.
MCR.
Mukra.
Mucker.
Yes, so MCR were like the heroes of, like, the icons of emo. They were the established point of the height of emo. There's no denying that whatsoever.
They pioneered that. Well, not pioneered because that makes it sound like they were there first, but they definitely took control
Some
of
new
that
heights.
entirely.
Really pissed off the Daily Mail.
What?
There was like I think the Daily Mail said that they said that they were going to the Daily Mail did an article and they said that they were, don't even think about it if you're thinking about it, John.
Do it.
Don't do it. I can't deal with that right now. I'm totally thrown off, sorry.
I really wish you'd done it, but alright.
This is not a joke. Lewis? You're not Lewis.
No, I'm
this
not.
This is not a jog.
This is not a jog either. You're 100%.
I'm having a moment of clarity where I need to remember that MCR were like the height of emo. Daily Mail wrote an article stating, I believe, that MCR were the reason for suicides.
Wow.
MCR fans did a protest outside the Daily Mail. I'm back on track. Now, the Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge was the biggest MCR. Oh no, maybe not. I would say it's better than Black Parade, but Black Parade was fucking huge.
Massive. It's
Yeah, that went to number one as well.
Undeniable, the biggest
Alright,
album.
yeah, fair. Black Parade, especially in the UK at least,
Yep.
was their album. It was their pinnacle. Now,
So moving on to Danger Days.
Danger
after that.
Days, yes. So that's when they went from that image you see there of them in the emo-looking ways to having like red hair, all colourful, which is fine, but the music that came with it was shocking.
100%.
Nah. It was just
I mean, that was an uncanny.
Thank you. I am Gerard May.
Wow.
Now
Better than Ollie Sykes.
Yes, definitely by a mile. Now my good old Brosephine Corrin, she was like the MCR fan. She was the MCR to my A7X.
Okay, fair
Right.
enough. So that's fucking big.
Yeah, well, not as big as my M7X because nothing can reach that level, but up there. Now, even she, like, I never thought I'd ever have her lose them as a favourite band, and she did after
Just
Danger
wrote
Days.
them off.
Yeah.
Wrote them off entirely.
She enjoyed it for like the first week, like, yeah, but I think she was like forced to like, yeah, I like it. It's a
I
change.
really, really like it.
And
I
now
do.
she's moved on to System of a Down as a favourite band.
Excellent. Good choice.
Damn good
Very
choice.
good choice.
Yeah.
Cool. So I have a question then. If they announced that they were going back to older styles, so this could be sort of Black Parade or before, would you go and see them live?
Sorry, you're going to have to say it again, sorry.
If they announced that they were going back to older styles, so Black Parade or pre,
Yep.
would you go and see them live?
Yeah, I never got a chance to see them live. I'll go see them live if they were playing No.
Really?
Yeah, not in full, but if they were playing parts of that and parts of old stuff, I'll go see them live.
Fair
I'd
enough.
love to see Ghost of You live.
Oh, mate.
Famous last words.
Not sure if it would ever happen.
What, to have them back? For them to play that live?
To play Ghost of You live.
I'm sure they used to.
Yeah, they probably used to, but they're nah now.
Nah.
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 Would you? Fuck Black Parade. You know what, Sophie? Fuck you!
Pre. Hi, Luke.
Who's Luke?
Luke Day.
Oh, hey, Luke. See, this doesn't come up on my phone, because it only shows the people that I'm friends with.
Ah, that's
which means I'm not friends with
unfortunate.
Luke.
Yeah,
Apparently so.
that's very unfortunate.
Cheers, Luke. Nice one.
Cool. So,
Would you go see them live, sorry?
I would definitely go and see them live. I've never seen them live. So
No, they're one of the big bands that I missed.
I would. I'm not even like a mad fan, to be honest with you. But I
I'm
would
not
go
a
and see
mad
them.
fan, but there are certain songs that I adore.
Do you know what? Even though I'm not a fan of the song, something tells me that seeing Teenagers live would be interesting, just to see what the crowd do.
Yeah, it would be good. Yeah, I guess so.
I wouldn't be listening to the music. I would purely be focused on what the crowd are like and how much of the sort of crowd they could command with a song like that. Really.
I think if they came back, they would easily take the world by storm again. Like, they're so pinnacle, and they've got such a following.
If they came back and did like a Black Parade tour where it was just playing that in full, I reckon they would sell virtually every single one of those shows out.
Guaranteed.
So there you have it. So who do we move on to next?
We move on to the band formerly and currently known as Linkin Park.
Oh, fucking hell.
I was stalling, but I think I managed to make it.
Managed to make it.
I managed to make it subtle.
For the Linkin Park.
Yes, the Park of the Linksies.
So yeah, progression of albums to One More Light, I'm assuming is where we're going to sort of round that up.
So like they made changes over time. So the first two albums were pretty similar. That it was new metal. And they kind of drifted away from that a bit. But the final album before One More Light, the change for, is it 1,000 Suns? No, it's not 1,000 Suns.
This would be a question I'd pose to you.
Yeah, I don't know what the album before was because I lost interest in Linkin Park. The album before One More Light to One More Light, that is a fucking huge change. Because that was a drastic change.
You could, but it would have no place here if we did. Oh wait.
So, Linkin Park went from like a rock band to effectively a pop rock band. There were still rocky elements to it.
Yeah.
I haven't had the whole album. They had fucking Stormzy on one of them.
That's major. Fair. I mean, yeah, what else is there to say, really? It was undeniable. It was a change that I think at the time, which probably makes a lot of people feel quite guilty about it now, but at the time definitely made people think, like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Yeah, it was hated. Like, in the comments section of when Heavy came out, people were like, "This isn't fucking Heavy," which is obviously hilarious, but yeah, you get the odd fan here and there that would like it, but it's so much hate. Yeah. Like, disgusting amounts, and that's, I thought, like, the hate was over the top. I mean, don't get me wrong, I even commented saying how shit it was, because I'm fucking cool. And yeah, I feel good about it now, because effectively it's turned into what we now realise as partly his suicide note. So, interestingly, on that point then, I'm going to ask you this question. Considering their generally heavier sound, why do you think Chester chose to pen out his final feelings in a much softer way? So, to establish that, you got to first think out, was that really his... Did he go into writing this thinking, I'm going to end it soon? I think so. I don't know. I feel like, in a way to make you feel more guilty, I feel like if this was praised, or at least hated less, he might still be here today. I think, basically what I'm saying is, I think the hate towards it definitely contributed to it. Yeah. He decided, I'm going to pour my heart out in this one, and go for a different sound, and everyone's like, fuck your heart. No one cares about this shit. This is awful. And he was like, I am torn apart, kind of thing. Again, I don't know. This is assumption based. I do not know any facts, obviously. So it's tough. Go through the question again, just so I can. So, considering their generally heavier sound, why do you think Chester chose to pen out his final feelings in a much softer way? So yeah, okay, cool. I don't think it was his. I don't think it was intended to be his final feelings. I feel like he wanted to make a change, because you see like videos of him in the. I watched a few videos while they were making it, and they did like a. I think they did a new metal version of Heavy. It was pretty funky actually, but obviously it wasn't properly released. It was just done in the studio as a laugh. Yeah. And I think the end of it was like, there you go, fuck your new metal, because he was pissed off at people saying, "Where's new metal?" kind of thing for years. Now, yeah, I don't think it was intended. I just think they wanted to change the sound. I don't think they did it for the size of the fan base like others have, because they were fucking huge. And I just feel like Chester was going that way and he wanted to do a different style. Fair enough. Cool. Why do you? Or do you? Why? Good questions. I can't help but feel like listening to it with obviously what's happened in mind. Listening to it back, it really does sound like it was kind of a preemptive thing.
Yeah.
In my opinion, not entirely. Like you can't listen to that whole album and say he's definitely intending to do it.
No.
There are parts of it that make you think, wow, could that have been an ode to what he's planning on doing?
There are certain parts where just like you can tell he's really struggling with mental health,
Mm-hmm.
and he's always been fairly open about mental health anyway. But you don't look at those lyrics before he died and think anything. I don't think many people did. It was only after he died they were like, fuck. And to Katrina, if you can't listen, Katrina can't listen to any song by Linkin Park currently because it brings her to tears, which is fair enough. I went on a binge of listening to Linkin Park only really after his death, and I still listen to him quite a lot. I don't think I'll go there very long. Like, I can go months without listening to In the End. It's a fucking beast.
Yeah, very true.
Somewhere I belong.
So yeah, I mean that was pretty much my only question for that.
Cool. Are you hungry?
I'm hungry for the next one.
Well, we got some corn.
Oh wow, crazy.
Yeah, that's my bad joke for the day out of the way. Corn's changed. My goodness. They never bred in their life. Now, they went from... So, the biggest change was really... So, from the Korn album, funny enough, Korn 3, Remember Yourself, I think. They went from that, and that got a lot of shit, that album.
Yeah.
Like, they were...
I think we've spoken about this recently.
Yeah, like, it was really shunned by the fans, which is a shame, because I liked one of the songs on it, Oildale. Now... And the whole point, I think, what made them really drastically change is because they said that before Korn 3 came out, they're like, we're going to return to our roots a bit. And people were like, yes, it's going to be amazing. Old school Korn. And then it came out and it wasn't really what they wanted, so they hated it. And they bring out The Path of Totality, which is effectively a dubstep album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I couldn't get into it.
No, I happened to be friends with Craig and Zoe at the time.
Yeah.
Well, kind of, yeah.
Perfect for them, probably.
Yeah, so they played it a lot because this was when they were kind of transitioning away from metal and going into that kind of shit anyway, so this was the perfect bond for them.
Considering I met Craig when he was a massive Cradle fan,
yes,
it was quite drastic to see.
Makeup down his eyes kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... But I hated it for a long while, and it's only like 2 songs that I like now. It's so bad. And I just didn't think it was necessary. I saw like an interview snippet earlier where Jonathan Davis said we made dubstep before dubstep was a thing. I was like, no, you didn't.
No,
you didn't. You adopted dubstep into your sound.
Crazy. That's a wild assumption to make.
Yeah.
Well, not assumption, but you know what
claim.
I mean. A claim. That's the one. What the fuck?
Yeah, silly sausage. So there's not really much I can say on this. But it is a massive change, complete change in genre. It still had like obviously his vocal tones were in it, and there's still like heavy instrumentals as well, like was the guitar as well as the dubstep in that song that I just did. Get Out.
No.
Get Out. Yeah, Get Out.
Right. Some audio difficulties there.
Yes, sorry, it was a bad venting problem. Luckily, I will vent my frustrations out straight after this podcast again. No, I joke.
Mate, so we move on then.
Gray, it's been a while, sir.
We move on to...
Yeah.
Get Up.
Get Up? Oh, it's not Get Out, is it? It's Get Up. Paramore.
I don't remember them doing a song called Paramore, but yeah, let's talk about the band Paramore.
That's really bad. Hard times. Now, Paramore, a band I've never really gelled with anyway. But Jesus Christ, I've gone to shit even more recently. I work at a restaurant chain that is popular in the States and here, although all restaurant chains are available. Now,
TG never on a Tuesdays.
Cool. So let's go out there with yep. Yes.
You're on about Bella Italia, right?
I for legal reasons not allowed to name it.
Oh, right.
It's not Bella Italia. Anyway, so
where have I put them?
Paramore just just dog shite now. Well,
Yeah,
I say
100%.
Paramore. We say that nicely because that is the name of the band, but it's effectively the Hayley Williams experience.
Yeah, so in terms of the actual transition, I wrote down Paramore from band to Hayley Williams pop sensation, and that was definitely very prominent from the self-titled to After Laughter, which is where I imagine your unnamed restaurant chain is probably getting a lot of their music from, is the most recent album.
Well, it's just the one song. It's that Hard Time song.
Yeah, so that's After Laughter.
Yeah, it's fucking dreadful.
Yeah, I mean, even for an album title, that's really not very good, is it?
Yeah, you want to be like mid-laughter at least. See?
Sorry.
Told you.
You're such a pal. On cue, fucking hell.
Did a snort.
I did a snortings.
Snortings.
So, I mean, working with artists like B.O.B., what the fuck? It's odd.
Yes, who is Bob?
Who is Bob? I don't know, but he's... to be fair, actually, I'm not going to lie, I know who B.O.B. is, but even for him, that was quite a drastic fucking thing for him.
Is he a rapper?
He is, yeah, but he's actually pretty good. He's definitely more well known in the chopping scene, which is like...
The chopping scene?
Tech Nine, Twister, rappers that are extremely fast and... That yeah, kind of, yeah. That's like Eminem's trying to be a chopper song, but yeah, that kind of stuff. Anyway, he's done songs with like Hopsin and Tech Nine and stuff like that, where he's demonstrating.
I love Hopsin Sauce. Oh, Hoisin, no, no.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that was pathetic as well.
It's one of those that you say and it's so bad that it's funny.
Yeah.
So it was a drastic change for him as a rapper to do as well, and I just never really got it. I never really got the why Hayley Williams of all people, but that seemed to be the transition for me as well, is that when she was able to be invited to do things without the band, that she became, I'm the reason this band is popular. So I just thought that was worth pointing out.
Yeah, well, it's like officially in their contract now that Hayley Williams is the one that's signed, and she's under the name of Paramore. That's why, like you see here, there's 3 members, including Hayley. There was 5 beforehand. There was disagreements. And
yeah, she slept with all of them.
They were like, well, you guys can go because you're not really part of the contract. We don't care about anything but Hayley. She is literally the brand of Paramore.
Wow.
So she can just move on with anyone playing instruments and she'll just get on with it.
So I have a question.
Do you?
And it's more one of the less information sort of gathering ones.
Good.
I've never fancied Hayley Williams. What's the hype?
I don't know because I'm with you.
You've never fancied her, never thought she was attractive either?
Oh no, I never thought she was unattractive. I'd say she's not. She looks mature in this photo we've got behind us. She's not bad looking. I never got the hype. But to be fair, most of the hype that I saw was from other women. It wasn't from men.
Okay, we have led different lives. Because in school, that was virtually anybody that was part of our crowd in school was a Paramore fan, and I would say probably about 70% of them that were male were only into it because they wanted to put their dick in it.
Right.
And I've never seen it.
No, I don't get it.
Don't understand. So I just thought I'd ask
again,
you. Really.
Not bad looking, but I never saw the world's hottest woman kind of thing.
Has she ever been dubbed that?
I'm sure some people have. I'm sure I've heard one of the women that I've heard. I must point out that these women aren't just random women. They are friends that happen to be lesbians. Right, it's not just like, oh, the woman, Hayley Williams. Okay, cool.
Fair. Cool.
Do you like their sound now?
Their sound now?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Did you like them beforehand?
Some of their stuff actually, to be fair.
I like Misery Business, and there's one other song which I think was done for Twilight, which I've never watched. But it was an apple in the video.
An apple?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea.
Well.
But Decode was the main one that they did for Twilight soundtrack.
Okay,
I believe.
cool. I thought it was a tree and an apple in the video, but anyway. It's also worth pointing out that like she's changed, or Paramore has changed as a whole, with their political thoughts. I guess they've stopped playing Misery Business live now because it says the word sluts, and they don't want to be that kind of band that's
once a whore, you're nothing more. Sorry, that will never change.
That's it, whore, not slut.
Same thing, really.
Effectively, but they don't want to do that because they're like, oh, well, rather than like playing it and saying, by the way, this is from our past. We've grown from this. Here's a song from our past. They've gone, no, we're not going to play this. We don't want to be associated with the word whore or like slut shaming or any over the top.
Is that because she got slut shamed for sleeping with her guitarist?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting stuff.
Thanks.
Cool. So we move on to the travesty, the current travesty that is Manson, I believe.
Yes, Marilyn of
Charles.
Yeah.
So,
Brian Warner.
it's no mystery, especially not on this podcast, about how we feel with current day Manson.
No, he's dreadful.
For me, I didn't actually really know what to jot down in terms of where the change was really drastic, so I just put down the Beautiful People kind of era. Obviously, songs came out after that were really good, but now to sort of Born Villain kind of days.
Yeah. So
there's some major differences there.
Yeah, musically it seems a bit lazier. The live shows obviously aren't as insane, which was a big draw for the fans for him. He could grip a crowd and do anything he wanted to with them, and now we boo him because he asked us for 5 minutes whether we want him to wear his coat or not.
Yeah, fuck that.
We don't care, bro.
So just quickly to go on to some comments. Katrina Watson says she's pretty but typically American about Hayley Williams with the downward bun. And then Sophie Ray says probably after her nudes got leaked. Well, to be honest, that goes to show how very little interest I had in that because I had no fucking idea.
I didn't want to bring it up, but I saw them tits. Now that fans brought it up, I guess it's worth it.
Yeah, didn't even know she had nudes leaked.
I heard. I saw it in about 3 minutes. I was like,
wow, crazy.
Boobs, great.
Fair enough.
But did it get leaked? Now I feel like a bad person because it got leaked. I've grown since then, but I'll still play it.
Probably the wrong kind of terminology to use there.
But I was like, what, 15, 16, I think? Maybe a little bit older. And now I'm not really a fan of leaked things because that's not your choice.
Yeah, that's fair. So, anyway, Manson.
Yes, Manson. So,
big changes over time as his ability to write original music.
Yeah, it's just...
And interesting covers has died.
It's just poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, live more so than albums for me. Because I can deal with a bad album, like you past your prime kind of thing, but don't come out live if you're going to be absolutely awful.
Don't come out live if you're going to need to go off stage between every single song, and sometimes in between some songs to take a hit of oxygen because you're that fucked.
Yeah, go back to the hit of meth.
Yeah, at least you're fucking interesting at that point. Wow, I'm out.
Hard times.
I mean, my question to you is simply, do we blame drugs alone?
What, for being shit? No, I don't think so.
You just think he would have gone that way?
I think drugs played a part, because I think his brain's so wired now. So, well, not wired,
just fucked.
Burnt out.
Yeah.
But I feel like as age gets to him, and the fact that people have moved away from his, like, he's still got a massive, massive cult following, but
yeah,
people have moved away from his, like, adorations.
Yeah.
Per se.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, anything from you?
No, that was it.
Do you think it's just drug based or more?
I think it's definitely a little bit more. I think drugs is the biggest factor by a long shot, though. 100%.
Okay. Yep, excellent.
So there you have it.
Yeah, there we do. So number 14 out of 16 is Papa Roach.
Yeah. So for me, typically Metamorphosis, and there was one album that you pointed out afterwards that had a couple of more original, or like more true to their sound as we know it by that point in time songs. But then after that, we jumped into The Connection, which was a pile of shit.
Yes, and they have been since. Now, I would say that, so the album that we're talking about is, that I mentioned as well, that's after Metamorphosis, is Time for Annihilation, which is predominantly a live album, but it had, I think it was 4 new tracks on it, which included Burn, which, in my opinion, is their last great song.
Okay.
So... Burn is fucking fantastic, but I love Papa Roach back in the day. The Paramore Sessions album was, I think it was the best of, but yeah, it was fucking great.
Yeah.
Always used to play it in my teens. But yeah, I don't really care for them now. They've added like dubstep and electronical parts to it, and that's not for me. Is it selling out to get more fans? I don't think so. I just want to make this change, but it's weird because it never seemed like they were a band that would move on to that, and they just did. So it's a tough one. I'm not sure how to predict that. Well, not predict it, but to think about.
I mean, for me, it was interesting obviously in a negative way, because they were a band that, for me, kind of had the rap vocals over metal and rock kind of sounding stuff, as well as like singing songs as well. They kind of had that mix really perfectly nailed. Like, I was really into old Papa Roach.
Yeah.
Like Dead Cell kind of days, fucking excellent song. But so in my mind, they had no real reason to change. Certainly not for a selling out kind of perspective. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, it's a weird one with Papa Roach. Not really much more to say from me, but yeah, they made that change, and I'm not a fan of it. But to be fair, by the point they made that change, I'd fallen out of caring with Papa Roach anyway.
Yeah.
Like Forever will still always be a fucking amazing song.
Yeah.
Last Resort and Scars as well.
Yeah, Scars the tune. Cool. So we move on to 30 Seconds to Mars.
30 Seconds to Mars, our penultimate band of this topic.
Yeah. So for me, A Beautiful Lie is a fucking incredible album.
I only like 4 songs from it, but the 4 songs I like from it, I love.
Okay, fair. I could probably hazard a guess at those, but we won't. So I wrote down A Beautiful Lie to pop weirdness. Pretty much every album afterwards. This Is War following on. Again, a great band that had a good grip now are synthy and use auto tuning.
Yeah, which is never good.
No,
Unless you like trying it out for a random song kind of thing, but don't auto tune your whole life through it. Now, 4 songs happen to be Attack, which is my favourite song. A Beautiful Lie, The Kill.
From Yesterday.
Yeah. So therefore, they have music videos, the 4 singles.
Good singles, they're good choices.
Yeah, I liked. So I think it's 2013 downloads. 30 Seconds to Mars were headlining the second stage, I think. And I liked, even though I hate the rest of their shit, I liked them enough to go. I'm gonna go see them live to check out these 4 songs. So they've got to play all 4. And I think they missed off A Beautiful Lie, which pissed me off, but they still played the other 3. But that's my love for 30 Seconds to Mars went there and stayed there. It's one particular time frame. That's it.
Yeah. So, but everything else afterwards, you're just like meh.
Yeah. So This Is War album was shite. It's all crap. Like as you can see here, Jared Leto looks like, or it's even more so in other photos. He's trying to look like Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Jesus McGregor, almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
With a hint of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, actually, I can see that. It's in the eyes.
Yes.
In the eyes.
Look into my eyes.
Look into my eyes. So speaking of other stars then, my question to you is, did you know that Jared Leto nearly beat up Elijah Wood for insulting his move from acting to music?
No.
So it was at like an awards ceremony or something like that, or like, and Elijah Wood was there for something that he did post Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And they questioned him then because he was like dabbling in something to do with music, but wasn't sort of putting it out. So he was asked then, why aren't you doing that? And Elijah basically said like, well, I've never really understood why these actors sort of, do a couple of films and then think that they can front like a band or something like that. Like, have you heard Jared Leto's new band, 30 Seconds to Mars? Fucking awful. And the next time that Jared Leto saw him at like an event similar to that, he swung for him.
Wow.
Yeah. Got in his face, pinned him up. Yeah, got in his face, pinned him up, like tried attacking him and stuff like that, and ended up having to get separated.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. No.
So there you go. A little bit of interesting trivia for you there.
Yeah,
I remember reading it quite a few years ago, so I guess I don't know how much gravity there is to that, but it's something that I've read from multiple sources quite a ways.
Jesus. Back. Sophie's named him Jesus.
Jesus, yeah. Jesus McGregor. I like it.
Excellent. No, I didn't know. That's crazy. And to be fair to Jared Leto, where's your Oscar, Elijah Wood?
Yeah, to be fair.
I don't think he has one. I'm pretty sure he didn't get one for Lord of the Rings.
I hope not. Fucking faggot, Frodo.
So, we finalised this topic.
Yes.
With one of, if not the biggest change.
I would probably say the.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's worthy of being last place.
Cool. Yeah, I've saved it for last intentionally. So, we have Pantera.
From the Pant era.
The Pant era. Oh, I like it. That's original. Well done.
I'm pretty sure you were the first person to make that joke, but it's not exactly one that we've never made before.
I was playing it off, but fair enough. Nice one. So we have the Pant era. Now this is the first time today I've seen this image, not right now, but earlier on when I chose the image. I've heard about the hair metal. I've never checked it out. I should probably after today.
Have you not listened to that first album at all?
No.
Wow. It's wild. It's fucking wild.
I look forward to it actually. I'll listen to a couple of tracks after the podcast for sure. But seeing this, like, Dimebag, if you move this way, not you, me, he looks like a fucking prostitute. That's gone wrong.
A prostitute that's gone wrong.
Vinnie Paul just looks hairier. And Rex, I guess, with more hair. And then Phil Soma as well. Like, insane.
I'm not actually sure if that is him. I think they had a different vocalist for the first album.
Oh, well. I looked at it earlier, I was like, it looks kind of like him, but I wasn't sure.
Do you know what? I know when he first joined the band, they were all spandex wearing and very much like the leather jacket kind of thing. Leather jacket over spandex. Then it was these guys that actually kind of made the whole like, just getting up on stage and playing in your jeans and hoodies and stuff like that a bit of a thing. So there you go.
Yeah, it's bad. It's genuinely fucking crazy. So
obviously we can't speak too much about the change in the music style if you haven't listened to it, but it is fucking wild.
Yeah.
I will tell you that now. It is wild.
I can just, by looking at the photo and just imagining, I can imagine it's a massive change, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm obviously glad they made the change because Pantera are great.
Yeah, fucking became pinnacle in the scene. And it's weird to think about what they would have done if they had stayed glam/hair metal kind of thing.
It is, Sophie, yes, you're right.
What?
It's a bizarre photo.
It is, yeah, very much so. Definitely not what you would expect from them at all. But there you have it.
There you have it.
Yeah, pet.
So, any questions on Pantera?
Let me just double check this because I've spread mine out over such a vast.
Spread them out, you dirty bitch.
Oh, I know. I feel like it's a question that's already been asked of another band during this topic, but I'll ask it anyway. As a lot of bands seem to change style and get shat on for it, why do you think these guys succeeded so well?
Because they didn't have a massive following at the time of the hair metal, and they evolved into greatness.
So interestingly enough, people were saying that they were going to be pioneers of hair metal at some point as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were very big on like the club circuits that they were playing at that point in time.
Cool.
And they used to play a lot of parties, like people's like house parties and shit like that. They'd like be a band that you could book for house parties.
Sick. Fair enough, man. But yeah, in the overall spectrum, they definitely did not have the fan base. If they obviously did 4 albums of the Pantera we know, then went to do this, they would get shat on.
Yeah, for sure.
Disgusting.
For sure. So if the transition was the other way around, then then things would have been drastically bad for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, and that rounds us off. Unless you have a question.
I do, just for more of my own personal interest.
Yeah.
When listening to the hair metal album, imagining none of other Pantera exist, and it's just a hair metal album, did Dimebag's playing of guitar, fair enough, show a future sign of how great he would be, or was his skill not worthy at that point?
I would have to listen to the album again to answer that question properly, but I remember thinking like there are elements of this that are just above any other hair metal band, and the guitar is definitely one of them.
Okay, cool.
The drums in some regard as well. Like obviously there are softer songs on there that are just very kind of. My new fucking slogan for this season is straight up the middle. But they had a few other songs that were a bit more complex than other hair metal songs, and the drums and the guitar shine out quite a bit in those. So yeah, potentially.
Sick.
I will listen again and let you know.
Awesome.
Coolio. So that rounds us off of our topic. No, go on.
Feel free to comment whilst we go along if there's any drastic changes you think we've missed, and tell us what you think of them.
Meatloaf
we'll try and do so.
is one of them that has been put forward. I don't really know I
think she's comparing the fact that you said that Panic's voice is great, and you was like, he's no Meatloaf.
Fair. Cool. So we move on to your chosen review.
Yes, sirree. It is the EP, the debut EP, that is, from Pinkly Smooth. It's called Unfortunate Snort.
Unfortunate Snort.
So, I made this pick, and I specifically said to Rob, do not check anything out.
It's been difficult.
Because I just want you to listen to the album, and then we'll discuss it right here and now. We have not discussed anything about this. And we both know that we've both got a favourite song. We're not sure if it's the same. We've both got a favourite part. We're not sure if it's the same.
Yeah.
And we'll go along each song and decide at each song if it is the case.
Okay.
Now, you're going to go first in this one via my decision.
Okay.
And I will not release any information about this until my closing statements.
Cool. Fair enough. So we start off with Necromance Theatre.
Apparently it's been difficult for Sophie too.
Yeah, no doubt. I haven't actually asked her specifically to tell me anything, but even if
she's with you all the time and you're questioning it out loud, and yeah, she's just going to be sat there like,
Yeah, 100%. So, Necromance Theatre, to start us off then, a trippy as fuck opening. The drums remind me of an early Lamb of God song, which I think I nailed down to be Black Label.
Okay.
Just with the dun 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 dun, and there's like a part with the double bass that just goes into like a crash on the snare and the cymbals kind of thing, and it's really good.
Yes, David Meacham, hello.
Asada,
an American person watching.
Wow,
we're across the seas.
branching out.
I know. Share to all your friends.
So straight away, drums reminded me of like early Lamb of God, not in terms of heaviness or anything, just like the way that the snare kind of sounds as well. You can tell that there's a very small budget used for it, and that made me think, why on earth would you get me to listen to something like this? I feel like the answer, or one of the answers to that question of why you chose this, became immediately apparent to me. That is Jimmy fucking Sullivan on vocals. I'm fucking sure of it.
Are you?
I am. I'm certain of it. I'd be willing to put money on it.
Interesting.
At this point
very,
in time.
very interesting.
It just, there are so many parts that I almost could just like hear the vocalist of this band sort of singing. If it's not him, he really could step in to do the parts of Critical Acclaim for Rev.
That's a big push.
Okay.
Interesting, very interesting.
I would be willing to put money on it just because there were parts, even in this first song alone, that just sounded like the Rev singing part in Critical Acclaim. So, yeah, that was that. Fucking loved it. As an opening, it's so fucking weird.
It is so strange, yeah.
By the end of the first song, I was literally like, okay. Okay.
5 more of this, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't know. But yeah, it wasn't very long before I listened to it all and then put it all on again. So
yeah, excellent.
Without spoiling it too much.
So I've obviously listened to it the few years it's been out. Now, straight away, you can tell this isn't the typical style of music we listen to usually. Going from the low growls to higher pitch, softer vocals, and also a wide array of dark and mysterious instrumentals. You can tell the production. That's that. You can also tell the production is quite of a low budget.
Yeah.
But that actually somewhat fits with the grim tone of the music. This song racks up to more than 7 minutes, meaning the opening track is the longest on the EP. The lyric "I'm possessed by the goblin child who destroyed the human race" just shows how insane this avant-garde band is, and this is probably the least wacky song on the album, on the EP.
Ooh.
The guitar work is great here, especially also that's I wrote that while doing it. That's probably not the least wacky actually after all.
It's not, in my opinion.
So yeah, the guitar work is great here, especially with the slower riff towards the end of the song, accompanied by vocalist Rathead's deeper vocal parts.
Rathead.
Right.
Okay. That's an alias, so I'm still not unconvinced of my theory, but okay, so he has a name now. Because that's actually been one of the harder parts as well, is not knowing. I've just had to put the vocalist, the guitarist, the drummer. So yeah, cool.
That's what I've got for Necromancer Theatre.
Cool, so we move on to Mesmer.
Mesmerize.
Yeah, just Mesmer. So interestingly enough, what further convinces me of my theory, and I don't know how many members are involved, but
before you continue, Necromancer Theatre, aka not my favourite song.
Fair enough. Cool. Not mine either. So yeah, that's surely Sin / Brian on guitar. The style of that opening solo. If it's not, I'll eat my own balls.
Is that what you got for that?
I've literally put that down. So
okay, excellent.
Quote me, internet. It's out in the ether now. I love the craziness, man. It's fucking wild. It's like a carnival EP. It's like carnival sounding kind of.
The band Carnival, like the.
No, like carnival as in like.
Right, cool.
Like the circus. Yeah. And yeah, the whole it's so fucking good, man. That was one of them.
Oh, that
was one of them, but it's not the one. Not what, but yeah, had me in fucking stitches. Brilliant. The piano is also too fucking sick. It's so good. The drums too, just the whole thing comes together really well. Yeah. It's wacky as fuck, but I really am enjoying it by this point already.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So a nice addition of the keyboard in this track, and very quickly the crazy side comes in more apparent with Rathead's weird, unique style of natural vocals mixed with the intended fake voices. I don't really want to die. Like that kind of shit.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. So a great use of guitars just before the 2-minute mark, bringing in some drum work that suits the section perfectly. The end of the track effectively comprises of inaudible vocals. It's literally just sounds, and he's just throwing out shit. Or vocals that are so fast you'd need a lyric book to decipher. He said it. An oddly calm outro here with more good drum use.
Yeah.
Mesmer, aka Not my favourite song.
your favourite song. Cool. So we move on to Nosferatu Does a Hefty Dance.
Nosferatu Does a Hefty Dance.
I'm already nervous from the minute it starts playing.
Nervous?
Yeah, it just had that kind of like, oh god, this is going to be fucking weird. And I was right.
Yes, it's a strange one.
Slow opening, but still good. Mate, that piano spasm following the build-up.
Oh, mate.
That was the moment that I said, that piano spasm following the build-up cracked me the fuck up. I'm hysterical right now. Is this the part?
Is this the part of your favourite, you mean?
Is this the part of yours?
Oh, of my favourite, okay.
Drums are actually sick. Who is it? If it's Jim and he's drumming, I'm too impressed. Great.
Right, okay, sick. Beginning with a slow-paced keyboard part, this song feels eerie from the get-go. It remains strange, especially towards the middle of the track, with devilish vocal tones and creepy high-pitched laughter. Then it happens. A fucking keyboard solo. It honestly is incredible and is my favourite part of the EP.
Yeah, fucking know
I thought this would be yours, and then suddenly clicked while we were chatting before the podcast that this isn't yours, is it?
No, yeah, it is.
It is yours.
It
Okay.
is.
I wasn't sure if it was something coming up.
No.
Right.
I think I know, but no.
Yeah.
This was it.
This I love it
Just
so fucking much.
The little bit where it just like the drums go, everything goes silent, and then it's just the like craziness. I was hysterical. Literally,
So
the
good.
first time I listened to it, I was just rolling. I was rolling on the floor.
Like, one of the main reasons I gave this album to you is because of that part. In terms of musicalness, it was that part right there. So
it's what further enforces my theory though, because it's wild enough to be him. It's wild, man.
yeah, fair. That's
And
it.
if my theory is correct and he's not drumming, because that was the part I really couldn't make up my mind about. If I'm correct in my theory and he's not on the drums, if he is playing piano, equally impressed.
Okay,
Equally impressed.
cool. So yes, my favourite part of the EP was the piano or the keyboard part. The drums roll back in with the keyboard into a messy vocal part to the scream "Profit from Pain," "Profit from Pain," at us. It just screams at us out of nowhere. Another vocal part is literally Rathead arguing with himself in two vocal styles, which happens again somewhat to the close of the track. I really like some of the drum parts towards the end.
Yeah. I actually was really impressed with the drumming all the way through.
Nosferatu Does a Hefty Dance, aka my favourite song.
Yes, fucking excellent.
To
We
yours as
are,
well.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
so
100%. Cool.
Pixel
so,
and nasal.
Yes. Instantly lol at the opening. Evil as fuck sounding. Mate, that guitar before the possessed vocals, crazy. The whole thing is just nuts. Lots of piano use. It's all great stuff so far.
Yeah. So in the most mental opening part of a song yet, a lot of the lyrics are unknown parts and definitely just noises Rathead throws out of his mouth. There are even parts where he's effectively making the noise of a dog when you're playing. I've lost my sentence. When you're playing tug of war with it, so like,
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
literally it. However, this one second.
Oh, mate.
Hold up. Sorry, we'll continue this now.
I know what you've just done. And yes, that one.
I've literally lost what I'm doing. So yes, he makes the noise of a dog makes when you're playing tug of war with it. However, this has some of the best vocal parts in this EP. The lyrics, it's just one day behind. The vocal to that, it's such a clean vocal, but it sounds so fucking good. In case these guys weren't mad enough, the song randomly ends with two yeehaws, right, and some Western cowboy style guitar solo, which I thought might have been my favourite part.
Oh, okay.
Right, because it's just so out there. It's a heavy as fuck song, and then yeehaw with some Western style guitar solo. I'd usually hate this kind of thing, but this EP is not meant to be taken seriously, and I love it.
It's just fucking wild, man. The whole thing is wild. So just catch up on some comments.
I will get back to that comment, Sophie, in a second. There's a very good point there.
Which one?
The octopus one.
Okay, interesting.
By the way, the spoiler alert, the fun point is not the fact that there's an octopus in the band.
but we'll get
I mean, even look at the album artwork. That's just you can just look at it, go, this will be fucking crazy.
Yeah, pretty much. I got that from the minute I listened to about a minute of the first song.
Yeah.
Maybe even less, like 20 seconds. Cool.
Best song, Nosferatu. Oh yeah, she agrees too. Nice one.
Excellent. Cool. So we move on, if you're ready.
I am, sir.
And I'm gonna let you read this one out because I don't want to fuck it up. The body.
The body of death of the man with the body of death.
There you go. Carnival metal. That is what this is. It is carnival metal. I wouldn't want to check this out on acid for sure. There are parts of this song that reminded me. Well, there's parts of this entire EP that make me think, how much did, if I'm correct, sorry, by this point I was certain. I'd heard enough of his voice to be like, I know who the fuck that is. So, to me, by this point I was sure of it. I want to know
so certain,
how, yeah, I am, and I'm worried now. I'm fucking worried. If I'm wrong, then fuck. Like I said, I will eat my own balls. I will find a way. I will Marilyn Manson and remove a rib or two. But there were parts of this entire EP that made me think Little Piece of Heaven straight away, and that made me think, like, if it is him, how much of the writing of Little Piece of Heaven did the Rev actually have to do with it? Because it's very fucking similar in terms of Heaven crazy.
Was pretty much entirely written by the Rev.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's that kind of level of craziness and that kind of level of just like excellent. It's really good.
Cool, is that what you got for that song, yeah?
Yeah, it's really good.
Sweet. So, backing vocals play a fair part in this one with the deep choir church style, like, oh, and chants behind the chorus. This adds to an already dark yet intense and insane song. I definitely feel that the inspiration from Mike Patton and his band, Mr. Bungle. I definitely feel the inspiration from Mike Patton and his band, Mr. Bungle, here. Mr. Bungle is obvious all the way through this EP, but there are certain vocal parts here that are extremely Mike Patton-esque. If you don't know who Mike Patton is, if you don't know who Mr. Bungle is, Mike Patton is lead singer of Faith No More.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he had a side band called Mr. Bungle.
And they were this fucking wild.
Yeah, fucking mad. Right, there's a song that me and my delightful ex-girlfriend Hayley used to listen to a fair bit called Egg. It's a fucking weird song. Egg. Egg. It's great.
Okay, I'm going to check that
out. So, yes, where did I get to? So, other vocal parts here are most resonant of most resonant of what we hear from Rathead in future projects. Again, the music takes a drastic change, from a pretty damn dark and somber song to an upbeat guitar solo going back into the track. Perhaps my least favourite track, but I do love them all.
So the body.
Yeah.
Body of the Man, the body, blah, 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 blah. That one is your least favourite track. I would argue that it is probably mine too. So that's interesting. Cool, so we move on to McFly.
Yes, McFly.
Better than the band, straight away.
Easily.
In an EP of Crazy, this stands out for sounding normal-ish so far. The guitar and piano build-up is cool. I actually think the piano, or keyboards, as I've come to realise in this, could be one of my favourite elements of this EP. His vocals are just crazy, and I've laughed a fucking lot by this point.
Yeah.
But the guitar work as well is just so fucking great. It's calm, it's reserved when it needs to be, and then there's just occasional little, like, almost as if, like, somebody's having a fucking seizure on the guitar, because it's, like, nice and calm and playing, and then out of nowhere it just... and then back into somber playing calm, and just... It's fucking wild. It's so crazy, and I've really enjoyed myself by this point.
Excellent. Before I go on to my take on McFly, Sophie, if you want us to review Mr. Bungle, Google the name of the album with Egg in it, and stick it in the topic. Not in the topic, shut up. In the notes on Facebook.
Did you just tell yourself to shut up?
I did. See what I learn. So, yes, it is... Yeah, go into Facebook, or anyone that's watching, put anything on Facebook, any topic, album, or reaction. Album review, that is. So go into our notes section, and it's on the top one there. Send a comment, or be ignored.
I need to fill this up.
Great. The more you know. McFly. This song seems more serious than the rest, so this is the point.
100%, like
Yeah.
normal-ish. Ish.
For the most part.
Ish.
Right? As normal as they can get. So yeah, this song seems more enormous than more enormous?
More enormous.
More serious than the rest. Not properly serious, but certainly less wacky. A lot of keyboard use is amazing in this track, along with a continuously great guitar and drum work. Even the bass shines in this track. Of course, we've been thrown off track. Oh yeah, right. Start that sentence again. Of course, we've been thrown off track, as in the final minutes, Rathead bursts out into some sort of heavy metal pirate vocal part. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
why
hence
not?
why I was just like, his vocals are just crazy.
Yeah. And that is my take on McFly.
Excellent stuff. Right, so for the OVR, I put, well, that was a wild ride. I'm left short for words, to be fair, but it was fucking excellent. It's probably one that I've listened to more. And I will continue to do so for sure.
Excellent, I'm glad.
Really fucking good. I need to know.
Excellent.
Just set me straight. Go on.
So, overall, I love this EP. As mentioned earlier, there are certain parts I'd hate if it was a serious album, but it's not, so it all works extremely well. I wouldn't advise listening to this if you want to listen to serious music. However, I can entirely advise listening to it.
Yeah, I do.
This was clearly a fun project for them, who just wanted to play some play some of the music they love from one side of their influences in Mr. Bongo and Oingo Boingo. It's also personally great for me, as it really shows parts of what was to come for Avenged Sevenfold, Sinister Gates, and the Rev. Especially showing the Rev's skill for many types of vocal styles and piano keyboard work.
So it is him.
Yeah,
fucking excellent, but he's not on drums.
He's not on drums.
Right, so who is?
I don't know. Nick Braino. I'm gonna have to find out. Now I've got something I saw here. It says that Justin Meacham was the keyboardist. Now I'm not sure what's the case, because I've seen a very short, low quality video of them live. And
so they played this live.
And it's the Rev flying about the stage, like manically jumping around, going fucking crazy on the piano or the keyboard, and doing the vocals.
That's so good.
There's 4 members, so if we just quickly stretch this way, and yeah, above you is Sinister Gates. Right above me is Rathead, being the Rev, being Jimmy O'Sullivan. So that's when he had his kimono. That's kind of his thing, and his wacky hair. And then Sin was just had a German flag on his face or something like that. With the Rev having an England flag, representing.
Pow, pow, pow.
Now, Pinky Smooth, let's check it out. So yeah, Justin Meacham, who is also formerly in the bassist of Avenged Sevenfold, he was just insane in Avenged Sevenfold. More on that one year.
Eventually, I'm sure. Maybe. We might be under a different alias by then.
Yeah. Nailed it.
And Grey.
So, Rathead is the vocalist, Sinister Gates the guitarist, El Diablo is the bassist, who is also Buck Silver of a band called Ballistico, Superloop, which is D-Rock of Ballistico, was the drummer.
Okay. And
Justin Meacham, pianist. But again, live, they did that, and there's only 4 in the photo, so I'm not really sure where that stands, to be honest. And being such... by the way, have I finished that off? Yeah. I tried to throw Rob off the scent quite a lot. Now, I said it was a recent album, a recent EP, hoping he would think, oh, it's in the last 5 years. It's 2001, and when you think about 2019 years, it's kind of recent. Yeah. That was my word around it.
I guess.
I also said, try not to think about the vocalist too much, try not to think about Avenged Sevenfold too much. I was like, oh yeah, it's always going to be Avenged because it's me. And I was like, don't, just think more into it than that. And he didn't really.
No, because to be fair, when you first said it at the podcast, because I thought you were on about that project that Sin did that you showed me, so I was like, oh, I already know what this is, thinking that you'd forgotten. And then when you said like you're so far off, I was like, oh, okay. But the minute I started hearing it,
I was at your house when you put the first song. I was like trying to leave. I was like, I don't want to be here when you hear it. He's like, that sounds like the Rev. I'm like, oh, fuck. It's crazy. What are you talking about?
I mean, to be fair, you pulled it off because I was just like, okay, I could be genuinely wrong about this, but literally by like halfway through Mesmer, I was like, no, it's him. It's him. Six Sycamore.
Yeah,
I was sure of it. When I said to you the other night, I'm certain about one aspect of it. I'm unsure about the other. But you've confirmed it. Sinister Gates is the guitarist.
He is.
Brian is the guitarist.
Yeah. His stage name in this was Sinister Gates.
Oh, really?
I was thinking about one. Speaking like I was going to say something like the guitarist Sinner, or something like that. It wouldn't be too obvious, but still like what's it?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I thought I'm not going to use a fake name. I just won't mention his name.
I was very unsure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It was mostly just because of the opening solo in Mesmer. I was just like.
So I think this. I'm pretty sure it's 2001. This came out. This came out the same year as Seventh Trumpet.
Crazy.
So those absolute dead end opposite of the songs. Like, were you thinking of maybe another member of Avenged was in this or not? Did you think just them two possibly?
I wondered if it could have been like an alternative project of theirs where they changed instrumentation a little bit. But then that confused me because I've never heard of Shadows, or I didn't know who the bassist was back then, but I've never heard of any of them being able to play drums.
Yeah.
So to me it was kind of like, maybe there's no gravity in that, but I wasn't gonna be shaken off of the minute I heard his voice. I was like, that is the Rev.
Yeah, so it's technically, obviously, guitar stayed the same with the Rev. The Rev, well, Rathead went on to vocals and keyboard, at least live, and Justin Sane / Justin Meacham, who was bassist of Avenged Sevenfold at the time, or around that time, he was on piano, supposedly. Again, not live. Maybe left the band because obviously he had issues again more than another time.
Yeah.
Now, it's also worth pointing out what Sophie said about the octopus thing. So it's actually pretty crazy that she said it's like an octopus, but like a running gag about the Rev is that his insane drumming skill, especially like in things like Almost Easy, they even did a cartoon for the making of the self-titled. They did a cartoon thing, like a little 5-minute skit.
That's jokes.
Right, and the Rev doing drums, he like grew octopus arms, was like
yeah.
So as soon as you like it's an octopus, I was like, yes.
Sick.
So out of 10.
This was actually quite a difficult one for me, but I'm going to go with the higher of the two and give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I am stuck between two numbers. Those numbers are the same. I am doing the same. I decided that before you said that. I'm going 9 out of 10 as well.
It's fucking epic. To be fair, I agree with what you said 100%. Do not pick this up if you want to listen to serious music, but pick this up if you want to laugh a lot.
And it's not even that. It's just funny. Like skillfully wise, it is fucking incredible.
It is really incredible.
It's a fucking piano solo, my friends.
Just that bit threw me so much. I was literally in hysterics. Like I was crying.
Yep.
Just because everything's like really loud and then it just stops. And you can just imagine him being like, yeah, skits in the fuck out.
I would love to see this live, man. It must have been a fucking wild ride.
Oh, fuck yeah. Listening to it was a wild ride. But no, I fucking loved it. I really did.
You can't find this on Spotify or anything like that because they've never released it like that. As you can see from the little icon or the little photo of the thing, that's a high-res version of, I think someone's like gone over again. The actual album artwork is very low-res. Now, you can find it on YouTube or other such less legal places.
Yeah. Torrent that shit.
Cool.
Cool. So, it is my choice of album next week.
Yes, so before we go on to album, we'll get the two albums in the same thing. Right. Next week, our topic festival.
Oh yeah.
Right. Join us on our third instalment of the Tour of the World, where we adventure into Swedish metal and rock, I guess.
It's going to be quite challenging. I'm not too sure of like a massive bands from Sweden.
A lot of death metal bands. This is going to take a lot of listening and research, I think.
Yeah, 100%. But I am fucking ready because there are some that we have shat on quite recently through reaction videos.
Yes.
More on that. Or just go and check out YouTube. It's really quite funny.
Yeah. Add to our over 800, because that's basically what it is. 800 views that we've got on our In Flames video.
Who are a Swedish band?
Yeah.
Did you know? But more on that next week.
We're covering a lot of death metal, no doubt, because Swedish death metal is the thing.
100%. Well, Scandinavian in general, really. Scandinavia is big for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sweden is a big hotspot for it.
Yeah.
So we will definitely venture into that.
Spoiler alert, we will not be covering any house or mafia. Thank you very much. What's your album for next week, Rob? I'm intrigued.
Cool. So,
well,
no, by the time that I'd finished listening to this EP for the first time, I thought I'm not going to find things.
Sorry.
I'm not going to find anything that is as wild as Pinkly Smooth. No. So I just decided to go for something that we've been talking about recently. It was getting into new bands and new music and stuff. And this is a band that I had minimal exposure to until I listened to one song off of this album and thought I'm going to put it forward for review.
Bury Tomorrow.
No.
Okay.
They're a band called Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter.
Have you ever heard?
Never heard of.
Never heard of them. And we are going to do an album called Outlive.
Excellent.
Cool.
What, can you give me like a little base of the genre? Or do you want to leave you to it?
I kind of want to leave you to it,
That's
but
fine.
I'm hoping that you'll get into it. I'm hoping. It'll be one of those where it wouldn't massively surprise me if you shit all over it, but I would be surprised if there's no song on it that you could pick out and be like, yeah, that's all right.
Okay, cool.
Cool. It's also poll.
It is also poll time. This week this time we've stuck with our rotation, who goes first, and one picks on the basis of that. This time it's a tough one, but I've gone with a band that I've never really listened to, and I will get shit for that, no doubt. It's Pink Floyd with Dark Side of the Moon.
Fucking interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting choice, sir. To rival that, I have gone with Strange Days by The Doors.
Oh God. Okay, The Doors. Fair enough.
The Doors, my friends. That's fucking original old school shit. This is their second album though. So I should point out that it's not the album with The Other Side on.
I don't know any of The Doors.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side.
Okay, fair.
No,
No, that's cool.
That's The Doors. Also, People Are Strange is The Doors. If you've ever heard People Are Strange when you're a stranger. And if you haven't heard that song, you fucking will.
Excellent. Okay. Cool. Or might not.
Oh, yeah, you might not. I was going to say I
So-
shouldn't really speak too soon.
You can vote for those polls, or be continuing the ways that we've been doing before, and that is we'll put the poll up on our Facebook page. The most likes of that gets 1 point. We'll put it up on our Twitter page. The
Avicii headlining, get out, leave
Get
right
to
now.
fuck. Yes. Our Twitter page,
Especially seeing as he's dead, isn't he?
and you should vote on all three of these. He is dead. Yes, unfortunate. It's always death undecided.
Heartless person.
Death decided. Now, you can join us, not join us, so you can also vote on our Twitter, and you can look at those things here. Now, yeah, vote on Twitter. Twitter needs more love, so go on Twitter, vote on all three, and the winner of Twitter gets 1 point. And then you can also vote finally on Instagram, and on Instagram, it's annoying because it goes part of our story, so it only lasts a day, and that will be up tomorrow, or tonight maybe. Tomorrow, at the bright early time of about 3 p.m. Vote on that one too, via our story. You decide who we listen to. Do you want the Doors to make their entrance, or do you want Pink Floyd to get smooth? Anyway,
Hey.
we bid farewell. See you next Monday. Also, tune in for another reaction video on Friday. And I'm not even going to have to say it this time. Follow us. Do everything on these things here. You've saved me 5 minutes. Bye!
That's all.
Desire.